Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kangaroothless, and I've got a special treat for you tonight. This is not some normal StarCraft 2 commentary. This is actually going to be a high-level professional commentary, by the way. Let's go and introduce the two players, because I can't wait to introduce them. Spawning in the top right on Shakuras Plateau is going to be Acer's Nerchio. He is the blue Zerg. Now, Nerchio is a well-known professional Zerg player. He is from Poland. He's had some pretty impressive results. He actually was able to 4-0 Tarch in the Twitch.tv European Invitational. He also did lose 1-3 to White Raw in the IGN Pro League Season 2, getting second place overall. Not too bad. Now, his opponent for this game is going to be Acer Bly. So I assume they're on the same team, Team Acer. And I don't really know much about Bly, by the way, except for the fact that he is a Grandmasters and he has 2,172 wins. So, yeah, he's pretty darn good, and we'll have to see how this game goes. It's going to be a Zerg versus Zerg. This is, by the way, one of the matches that was for the Go for SC2 monthly February tournament, or something about that sort, and I won't release kind of how they did during that competition. It's a little bit of a dated replay, but I didn't see any on YouTube, so I thought I'd give a little bit of an English commentary to it, because the only one that I did see, I believe it was Polish, or it could have been Russian. I honestly cannot tell the difference. I'm sorry. But anyways, we see that it is a ZVZ on Shakuras Plateau. They have spawned close by air positions. So both players going for an early pull here. No, actually, it looks like Bly is going to go for a 15 hatchery. Or is that a 16 hatchery? Yeah. And so hatchery first versus pull first. Now the cool thing about a build that Nerchio is doing is that he has the potential to be aggressive and to really force more units out of his opponent than what he honestly has to make. So you can see here he's getting up his gas, not too fast. This will allow him to expand shortly afterwards, at least get up the queen and enough Zerglings to do whatever he would like. But I'm pretty excited about casting this, by the way, guys. I'm going to try and do it in one take. I usually do casts in multiple takes, and you know what? I'm just going to start going on the fly and seeing exactly what happens. Now, Nerchio was able to scout in the base. He sees the timing of the pull. He knows that the hatchery has gone down first, so applying some aggression will be in his MO. And both players just kind of chatting here. It looks like Nerchio will go for a 19 expand. This is a very, very, very safe build, guys. So if you're ever thinking about what build should I do in ZVZ, whatever Nerchio just did, by the way, that's the safest build you can do. So, Zerglings is moving out across the map, trying to see if they can force any units out of Acer Bly. Now, the thing that you have to do here with the 15 hatch is not overreact, but not underreact. You have to make enough defense to not die, and you have to make not too much defense so that you don't just waste a lot of larvae on things like Zerglings. But anyways, you see the Zerglings are kind of running in here, starting to cause lost mining time here for the drones. This is exactly what you need to be doing as Acer is doing here. He's waiting for his Zerglings to come out. He has the Zergling advantage. He's going to be able to chase away the speedlings of Nerchio, who's just getting some scouting information right now. Notice that Nerchio is droning up behind this. So looking back at the income harvesters tab, it's still pretty close. Now first queen is going down here at a pretty nice time actually to do some injecting action. Notice that there's only 6 Zerglings out for Acer Bly so far. Getting that Baneling nest, once that Baneling nest is complete, Acer Bly will be fairly safe from any sort of Ling run by. Spine Crawler going down as well for Acer Bly. Now Nerchio, he's a pretty strong Zerg player, and I've seen him in several other tournaments other than this tournament. I believe, oh goodness, what is that doing there? That's not supposed to be there. Seriously, that's not supposed to be there. Yeah, he's been in the IGN Pro League Season 2, for example. He's been in other competitions, such as the Southcraft One-Day Invitational. And of course, I'm reading all this information off of Liquipedia, because I don't know all this stuff myself, but are they actually going to kill off a drone? Yes, they are going to kill off 2 drones. Not too bad. Then attack the queen. That's not going to work out too well. But it looks like, yeah, he was able to kill off 3 workers. That's not too bad. Not too shabby at all. So Nerchio just being a little bit aggressive. Now that speed is out, both players thinking about getting Banelings for defense. But again, notice that they're still droning up. Only 1 Baneling here at home for Nerchio. And meanwhile, Acer Bly is trying to run around, scout for a fast third. Now, this is a pretty cool thing you can do with Speedling control across the map. A little bit of a micro here from both players, but honestly, in Ling versus Ling battles, when it's in small numbers, it's better just to kind of get a better angle before attacking, and if you don't have the better angle, then you back off. And I honestly don't know about pulling back weakened Zerglings. Love-hate about that. Also note that both players are getting another gas, so it's a pretty nice timing that they're going for. They have their lair on the way. And very similar timings. You can tell these guys train a lot. These builds are very similar. Roach Warren going down when the layer is about halfway through here for Nerchio. Also, take note of the Overlord spread across the map. Looks like we have a little bit of a run by here, just trying to get in the base really and see exactly what the tech path is, exactly what the layer timing is for Nerchio. So far, a very standard ZVZ. This is playing ZVZ by the book. But notice the Overlord spread, by the way, here for Nerchio. He's able to tell when these speedlings run across the map. He's able to scout that. He's able to react in time. And notice he's not making that many Zerglings himself because he didn't go for this third yet. He's waiting for his Roaches to pop before he decides to go for it. He doesn't have to make so many units early on. And that Zergling is not going to get any scouting done, really. These Overlords are starting to move out, I guess, towards the front of the base. The Speedlings for Ace or Bly are running back. And Nerchio's getting 9 Roaches right now, so if he pushes anytime soon, it looks like his opponent is going to be in a world of hurt because we only see 1 Spinecrawler, but 3 more Spinecrawlers going down. If you're going to go a Muta build, which is what Ace or Bly is doing, you need to get those Spinecrawlers up to ensure that you do not die to something as silly as a Roach bust. Now, also note that both players are grabbing the third at this time. Honestly, as Ace or Bly, you're going to feel a little bit safer because you have so many Speedlings, because you're going to have Mutalisks. You're going to have very mobile units to help you with the defense. Now, this hatchery just needs to stall, really. Nerchio needs to stall these Zerglings until his Roaches can get over here and help him defend. He also doesn't need to lose these Speedlings, but of course he's trying to macro and do everything at the same time, making 10 drones. Goodness. And burrow. That could be problematic. But notice he also has his evolution chamber, so when the Mutas do come in, he will be able to throw down Spore Crawlers if necessary. So looking at the income tab, it is 53 to 49. Bly has actually gone for 8 Mutalisks here, but we see a nice Roach push moving out here for Nerchio. Notice there's not a lot of Speedlings out right now. A lot of these Zerg players are both spending a lot of their minerals right here on getting out that drone count. And this third is going to have to be cancelled. There's absolutely no way that Ace or Bly is going to be able to save this. I think it could be a mistake. Now the Mutalisks are out, and yeah, he does get the cancel off. Nicely done, but the Roaches are now going to be out of position, which doesn't actually matter against Mutalisks, but now the Mutalisks can go and counterattack and provide, just be annoying to this third. Also pick off plenty of Overlords on the way back. So yeah, the Roaches are going to come straight for the third base. It doesn't look like a Spore Crawler is going to be up nearly in time. In fact, 2 Spore Crawlers trying to go down here for Nerchio, but this base is going to have to be surrendered almost immediately. So both players trading pretty evenly. Overall, I would say the army for Nerchio is going to be a bit stronger. So here he is pushing in with these Roaches. There's a lot of spines here, though, so he's going to think twice and actually back off. Pretty smart move there. And letting this hatchery die, that's not a bad idea, but I liked that Roach aggression early on to deny that third base. A lot of time when you see a Mutilating player, he's going to try to go for a faster third and rely on the mobility of his Mutalisks to do a lot of damage. Now, also note the positions of these Spore Crawlers up front, and also remember that Nerchio got Burrow, so until Bly gets Overseers into position with his Mutalisk flock, he's not going to be able really to be he's not really going to be able to punish these Roaches who are tucking themselves away for another day. So Overlord will go down, but now this hatchery is blocked, and so instead Bly's going to go for this hatchery here. This is not what you want to do as a Mutilating Zerg, because this is going to be closer to where your opponent's spawning. Roach aggression, little Roach pushes, they're going to be able to deny these expansions a lot easier. So in fact, a player like Nerchio might want to get his expansion here since he's going for a much stronger unit composition like Roaches, and yes, he's getting he's already got 5 Infestors on the way, so looks like Pathogen Clans has completed. He does not have any upgrades for his Roaches yet, instead focus on getting a lot of those Infestors out right away. And these Infestors are really going to help him out into grabbing a third base. It's going to allow him, oh, nice fungal growth right there. That Overseer is actually going to go down, and I mean, that's actually a big deal. That's gas that cannot be spent on Mutalisks. Every Overseer costs 50 gas, and he's having to use these Overseers to clear up Roaches, which are burrowing just everywhere, being annoying as all get out. Little changeling here for what looks like it's Acer, yeah. And also the cool thing about Changeling is that they can actually take watchtowers. So the Roaches are falling back to the Queens. This is not quite enough Queens to hold off this aggression, but note that there are a lot of Infestors here, and if he gets a nice fungal off, he can do a lot of damage to these Mutalisks. He wants to kill off as many as he can, but he does not want to use too many fungal growths, actually. So notice that there is a wall of Spore Crawlers here. This is a great defense against Mutalisking players. Roach is meanwhile trying to pop up and do some damage, but the Zerglings are already here to attack and to defend. Let's look at the upgrades for each player. Looks like the Zerglings, they don't have any upgrades, so neither player going for any upgrades really, except for Nerchio, a very delayed +1. Looks like Infestors are on the way, as well as Roach speed for Bly, but he also has, I'm not sure about why he's getting Overlord speed. If you have Mutalisks, I'm not sure I agree with getting Overlord speed. It's not as necessary because you're going to have the mobility. It looks like this expansion here will probably go down. It's going to be risky to try and save it. In fact, yeah, he's going to have to cancel this. Is he going to be able to save it? He should cancel. Oh my god, no, he doesn't cancel. Meanwhile, we do have Mutalisks into the main base. They're able to get past the Spore Crawlers. This Queen is going to be under duress, and it's going to go down immediately. Lots of drones going down here, but a nice little counterattack coming here from Nerchio. He knows that now is the time to strike with his massive Hydra, Roach, Infestor army. And yeah, he's going to lose a lot of these drones, but Spore's moving back into position. A lot of these Mutalisks going down. It looks like he's trying to defend at 2 places at once, and it's not really working out for him. So the 3rd base is going to go down, or should I say 4th base. This 3rd base still exists for Acer Bly, so Nerchio doing the smart thing. Not moving straight up into the ball of fungal growths, per se. He's actually instead going to go for the 3rd base. And, you know, shutting down the 3rd base of your opponent while you still have a 3rd base, you're going to be looking to be in really good shape. So this is going to be in a lot of trouble. But meanwhile, we do have these Infestors getting fungled. It looks like I'm getting a little bit of lag here. Sorry, guys. These Infestors need to burrow and get away, or they need to lay off some nice fungals. He needs to keep these Infestors alive at all costs. But honestly, Bly's in a bit of a tricky situation here. It's now 121 supply to 145. There are not many Mutalisks left out on the map. I think there's only 1 left, and I mean, there's just so many spores, and there's almost spine crawlers here. This Roach push isn't going to be able to do very much of anything. Maybe pick off a couple of Queens. That's not the biggest deal in the world, to be honest, because there's plenty of Roaches here, plenty of spines, but nice positioning here by Acer Bly, able to get a little nice concave. But is he going to be able to take out this hatchery? If he's able to take out this hatchery, he's pretty much reset the game. Unfortunately, Acer Nerchio has a much stronger army. So in the long term, Nerchio is going to be a lot better, and as we see here, some fungals going off on the Roach army. Nerchio's army is just going to be too strong after a while. It's just going to kill off way too much, and these Hydralisks are shooing away these Overlords, so now he's not going to have the scouting information that he wants. He's not going to have the map vision that he wants. Instead of spending that gas like he wanted to previously on things like Overlords, he's going to have to instead rely, on Mutalisks. He's going to have to rely on Overlords, which is nice that he has them, but he lost so many Mutalisks. That's just not what you want to have happen. So both players kind of resetting here. Not really much going on at this point in time. I guess they're both trying to consolidate, trying to get some bases up. Acer Bly is going for, looks like 2 hatcheries. He's going to try and double expand his way back into the game. But this does leave him a bit vulnerable, to be honest. And, I mean, look at his minerals and gas. He's not able to spend that much. I'm wondering where his macro hatch is. There it is. But look at the energy on these Queens. It's pretty darn high. So not able to hit every inject, and unfortunately falling behind a little bit macro-wise. Nice defense up here, nice spread of Roaches, but really all Nerchio has to do at this point in time with this army is to deny bases here for his opponent. So if he can keep him on 2 base and expand himself, he's going to be in fantastic shape. Killing off those little guys. 1 second, guys. Alright, sorry about that. My computer was starting to lag up a bit. I thought I would free up some processes and see if that helped out with the lag at all. Back to the game. Looks like both armies just trying to push out across the map, but let's look at the units tab. It's going to be a lot of Roaches here for Nerchio. Looks like he has 34 Roaches to the 40, but then again, Bly doesn't have Hydras. Hydras are that machine gunning unit that's just going to be able to provide the additional, the DPS necessary. And if he keeps on trading with Nerchio, he can find a way to get back into the game. But ultimately, nice fungal there actually from Nerchio. killing off all of these roaches. This is looking really bad for Bly. Even though he's able to kill off this expansion, it's just not looking good at all for him. Leaving this Overseer alive over here might be a bit of a mistake. But notice that both players are starting to mine out. This base not getting used very much at all. Both players just trying to play as defensively as possible, try to stay in the game as long as possible. It looks like Bly is going for eventual sack, so he will be able to drop. That's a nice transition, actually, for the kind of unit composition that he is going for. Looks like a changeling moving up in here to possibly scout for another base. I don't know what the changeling is doing, actually. But here comes the entire army of Nerchio. He's just checking for that third base. He's not going to see this fourth. It's kind of silly. And both players just right now kind of, you know, posturing back and forth. I'm not really sure what the plan is here. But it looks like Acer Bly is, you know, preparing for a drop. Yeah, there we go. So lots of Burr Roaches loading up into Overlords. This attack right here has to do a lot of damage. If he loses all these Roaches, like say they all get fungled and they all die, he could lose to a counterattack very easily. Again, Acer Nerchio just up in supply. Looking at the income tab, it is 40 to 44 harvesters. This is ZVZ for you. It is very difficult to get up a nice economy in ZVZ. It's just, unless you're both being very passive, it is almost impossible. Meanwhile, we do have Corruptors out on the map for Nerchio. I like this a lot. This is actually going to be able to clear away a lot of the Overlords. A lot of the Speedlords are not going to be able to you know, drop as they please. But notice he's also getting a lot of scouting information. Meanwhile, we have the drop on the way here for Acer Bly. This is a huge drop, and if this isn't scouted in time, he can potentially kill off all the tech of his opponent here. So it looks like he's sending in a couple, leaving several back in the rear. And he's going to start dropping all these Roaches, and they're going to start picking away at the tech structures of Nerchio. Nerchio's in a lot of trouble here. He's going to have to pull back his entire army. In fact, where is his army? It looks like they're just now coming up. Nice fungal! Bly just bungled this attack by clumping his units together. I'm not sure what they were trying to do, but that attack has been thwarted, and he didn't kill any tech structures. That was huge there, and Nerchio still, you know, meanwhile, he still has a majority of his army. So Bly, I mean, he's trying for these multi-pronged drops. It's just not going to work. There's way too many Roaches here, and with reinforcing Roaches coming in, this expansion is going to live. Another nice fungal, and yet another nice fungal. So, I mean, at this point in time, it's 83 supply now to 161. Doubled supply. It doesn't matter what he's going to try to do with these Overlords. He's just losing so many of them at this point in time because of these Corruptors. I like this Corruptor play here from Nerchio. The Overlord will finally go down, and these Roaches are going to be forced to fight for their lives, but too many Roaches here from Nerchio, so this will be chased away. And here comes the power move. I mean, at this point in time, Nerchio just has to A-move, and he will win. If he can at least take down this expansion, he can win the game. I'm surprised, actually, that Bly did not remake Infestors. In fact, he still has these 2 Infestors at home. That could have helped him out a lot in these engagements, but instead, relying just on pure Roach and Roach drops, I'm not sure that was the best plan of attack, and as a result, he is going to GG. So I don't think I've ever seen drop play in a ZVZ before. It's pretty interesting, you know, build to do, but I feel like 1 or 2 Infestors in the mix as well could have turned the tide of that battle very much into Bly's favor. You know, once Nerchio was able to get his units up this ramp, get a nice fungal growth off on these Roaches, he was able to kill off a nice pack of them. And, you know, meanwhile, there's this other pack back here. It just wasn't with that main army. It was able to get overrun, and there were no Infestors, so no fungals. He couldn't fungal the ramp and kill off all these tech structures, you know, while holding it off with Roaches. So that could have been a potential win for Bly, but he kind of bungled it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the Procast. My name is Kangaroothless. I've been your cast as always. Be sure to rate, subscribe, comment, and favorites, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.